Alright, you guys, next YouTube video, let's check it out. We got some stuff here I'd like you guys to see. I'm actually switching up from drill drivers to impact duty, and I'd like to share to you why and some of the accessories that are helping me do with this. Okay, first let's start with what a drill driver might have looked like, about your size big. 2 NiCad batteries, bit heavy like that. Not a lot of power, definitely not as much power as a quarter drill per se 20 years ago or longer when they first came out. When I first started being a building superintendent, I've been one full time for 20 years, and they were out just before that. Okay, and they were a lot like that, very heavy, very large, and got things done, but not half as much as what they do today. Okay, so just to give you an idea of size, of what they kind of look like, what they kind of felt like. Okay, today's day and age, a lot of the drill drivers are more compact, something like this. They have much more compact design. They're using a much more low profile battery, not as large as something like I showed you previously, and they work very similarly. They have a brushed motor. You can maybe see some of the black here from the points touching the motor or the stator, where they kind of wear out and you lose the efficiency of the motor. You might be able to repair it or have it reconditioned from the factory, so on and so forth. Okay, originally when you first started, usually had 2 speeds, and originally 20 years ago or so, the low speed was for torque and the second speed was for removing more material while you were drilling. Okay, that was originally. Now some of that thought process has changed. Okay, let's see what has changed from the older drills to the newer ones. So you got a much lighter design, lithium-ion batteries instead of NiCad, much more power, and the duration, the runtime is much better. Okay, so really nice setups here with the newer stuff. You'll have all steel chucks, some of the better manufacturers. You'll have a clutch here where you can set it to full drill, or different settings for more or less torque, where you don't over penetrate your material with whatever you're using, drill bits, screws, whatever you're doing, lag bolts, whatever it is. So a really nice setup, and again 2 speeds, so on and so forth. Or you can even use the trigger as a control for variable speed on probably every drill out there today, every modern drill out there today. So nice stuff here. Okay, as we go to advanced, there's something much more advanced today. Would probably look like this for most manufacturers, like these 2 guys. Now these are M12, and people are going to say, M12, I don't know, 18 volts is really the way to go. If you're a carpenter, you do stick framing all the time, you're doing metal studs, 20 gauge, you're a fabricator, you're a full-time electrician, you do installs all the time, using your drill 4 hours a day, so on and so forth, I'm definitely going to say 18 volts is the way to go for the runtime, for the power, where you might need it in certain applications, okay? But for most of us, where we don't use our drills less than 2 hours a day, someone like myself, most handyman, repairman, stuff like that, the 12 volt system is really becoming a mainstay for a lot of people. Whether it be DeWalt, Makita, Milwaukee, somebody like that, Bosch, whoever manufacturer you choose. Okay. Also, I know Milwaukee does this. I'm not sure which other manufacturers do this. But if you buy into a system and you buy a kit, per se, a drill driver with 2 batteries and a charger, you're not tied into keep buying drill drivers as kits with battery chargers you might not need, or extra batteries you might not need. You can actually buy something called bare tools, which is how I got into the system. I started out with 18 volt. I went to Milwaukee Dremel tool with a battery, and I just kept progressing with either batteries or bare tools at the time as I can afford it. It wasn't necessarily I had to shell out a lot of money at original investment. I could get different pieces here and there, so that's really nice from Milwaukee. And I apologize, I don't know which other manufacturers do that, because I'm a Milwaukee user, as you can see. I think Milwaukee has one of the best, if not the best, 12 volt systems for different reasons. This is brushless motor. Both of these are actually. It is a much more compact design, but this actually has a full half-inch metal chuck, similar to a Jacobs chuck. Full metal ratcheting system and a secondary adjustment here for full drill power, hammer, or screwing where the clutch applies and you can use more or less torque so you don't over penetrate. So really nice stuff here, and a much more compact design with 2 speeds, so on and so forth, higher speed, much more runtime depending upon whether you're using 2.0, 4.0 battery, something like that. For most people, this is like a really nice way to go, these drill drivers, and this one just happens to be a hammer drill. I just recently bought this and I tried my friend's impact driver, and I really never thought about impact drivers, so I'm sure a ton of you are light years ahead of me on this, but I'm so impressed I wanted to make this video. This is the normal, what I normally would use, and I know, and I love the compact system, weight, size, and this is a 4.0 amp hour battery, so despite being an M12, I get more power and I also get twice as much runtime. So you start to see some of the advantages of a smaller system like this, with more power, all the features you might need, including torque and other advanced features like Red Link from Milwaukee, where they protect the battery from overheating and the drill from burning itself out. Okay, so if you ever bite into material and something gets stuck, a bit breaks or something like that, it'll actually protect the drill and the battery. So really, really nice system. Milwaukee, and I'm sure these other manufacturers, Makita, Bosch, Rigid, whoever it is you're using, gonna have similar systems, and that would be on you to research. If I did my research in Milwaukee, this is the manufacturer I chose to stay with. Okay, other reasons why I would be switching over to the impact, besides a drill driver like this, okay, would be, first of all, it's smaller, it's more compact. All right. Second of all, the impact design of this allows this impact drive to drive without a lot of twisting motion. You'll see where the drill starts to get caught and start to twist on. You can feel the torque on this. With this hammer set up in here on the impact system, it actually feels much nicer and actually feels smoother to drive a drill or something like that, including lag bolts. I find I can do similar work with these two at a similar speed, and despite being lighter, because of the impact system on here, I find that they're very, very compatible the way they work with driving most fasteners. Okay, so this is a really nice system just because of that impact design. Why else would I want to stray away from that? It would be because of 2 kits I'm going to show you here, those 2 red kits right now, will help make the impact 1/4-inch hex setup a viable system 85 to 90% of the time for me. Would be these 2 kits. With most drill drivers, you have a chuck where you can put a drill in there and you can start drilling. This would be the drill kit here, and this system actually has 23 drill bits, and they all have a 1/4-inch hex shank, so I can install it in, per se, my impact driver. One of the things I want to stress here is, yeah, you saw me remove that one hand. A lot of people say this is not a one-handed chuck, but it does work with a little practice. It is one-handed popping in, and if you just pull, it comes right out. So this is a 1/2-inch drill bit. One of the things I have to really point out and I have to emphasize here is these drill bits, and by other manufacturers, the Makita, they do make their own proprietary impact duty accessories, and that's what you want. You need for impact duty driver like this, because if you don't, they tend to wear out, break faster, or wear the heads out on your fasteners, and you don't want that while you're working on the job. So impact duty accessories, very important. Okay, so these are Shockwave impact duty drill bits made by Milwaukee. Okay, on the box there, I apologize if you can't see it, but it does say shockwave. Okay, I haven't really been a big fan of titanium coated stuff, but Milwaukee, then they're stating this is impact duty. That's what I want, that it has titanium coating on it. It's not a really big feature because once you start drilling with it, it just starts to wear off pretty fast. This is my other impact duty accessories, which are starting to make my drill drivers obsolete. 1/4 inch, actually 3/8 inch hex adapter here for sockets. T25, straight head, regular screwdriver head on there, some extensions. These are all impact duty on here. 3/8, 5/16, 1/4, and all these bits here, whether they're Torx or whatever they are, they're all impact duty. So they don't strip the head, they don't break, and they last much longer. And they don't cost this much. This entire kit, with the exception of these two I added here, and the T25, 20 bucks. This entire kit with the 23 drill bits up to 1/2 inch, $30. Okay, so it's kind of what you're facing for most manufacturers, probably similar price range. And again, you do want impact duty accessories with impact duty wrench. And these two is what's making this guy kind of go obsolete. The last thing that this guy has here is the hammer setup on here. Interesting note, there are some manufacturers out there that do have hex masonry bits that I did see online. And if my memory is right, when I was looking around, Milwaukee either did prior or is going to be coming out with a shockwave setup that is made for masonry bits for impact, 1/4 inch hex impact drivers. So could be interesting to see if they're already out, if I'm wrong, or if they're coming out, or what's going on. Start making this guy more and more obsolete. Okay, the comfort of this, the size of this, just the way it functions with that hammer setup, where it doesn't twist in your hand so much, and it just drives so much straighter, and actually removes so much straighter because that impact hammer inside here, that rotary hammer inside there, it does work and feel much smoother than a traditional drill driver setup. And that's what's grabbing my attention so much, and that's why I'm making this video. I know a lot of you guys out there are light years ahead of me. You've done this prior to me, so please put your comments in there below. Let us know how good you're doing, how far ahead you are of me, how good your system is, what kind of information I might be missing, or you can add in the comments below. I don't know what else to say except I will not be using the proprietary Milwaukee lithium-ion battery light system because the luminance is only 160. I can get other systems, but they're kind of bulky and they're a little bit expensive, and I'm positive I can get a lot more for the money, and I'll explain that in my next video why I'm going away from the proprietary Milwaukee work light system. Okay, that's for me what's going to work for me. This worked great. I remember my original DeWalt had this funny gooseneck and you kind of bend it and flex in different positions, wrapped around a pipe. That was a long time ago, over 15 years ago. I remember that light. I don't have it anymore. I'm not using DeWalt right now. I'm using Milwaukee. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Any comments you guys have, please put them below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.